Okay, Saiyan Saga character tier list. Look, I'm just some guy. I'm not an authority on Dragon Ball Z. Okay, that's just my personal opinion. So don't get butthurt if I put a character you like in a pretty low tier. Okay, even though this is 100% accurate. Just FYI. All right, let's go. Number 1, we got Raditz. Now, I was debating on putting him in either good or great. I actually ended up putting Raditz in great category. Okay, he's kind of borderline, but I ended up putting him in great. Okay, so first of all, an argument for him being in good category would be that he's only about as strong as a Cyberman, right? And that's what really made me want to put him in good. But remember, this isn't just a strength listing, even though that does kind of knock him down a peg. The reason I put him in great is because he did exactly what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to be the transition between Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and he filled that role perfect. I couldn't have thought of a better way for the Saiyan Saga to start than by Raditz's abrupt arrival, just shaking everything up, banding Goku and Piccolo, who are mortal enemies in Dragon Ball, banding them together to fight a common enemy, and then for him to announce the threat of an even bigger enemy. He just played it perfect, and also he was involved in one of the most underrated fights in the show. Goku and Piccolo versus Raditz was a banger. So definitely put Raditz in great category. He really showed us how, brutal Saiyans are and just introduced a whole new world to the audience, and he did it great. So I'm putting him in great category, even though I could definitely see the argument for good. Don't get me wrong. All right, number 2, Farmer with a shotgun. Listen, I'm actually going to put this character in good, okay? Does the farmer have any significant role in the series? No. Does he have any skills in particular? No, we don't even know if he was a good farmer. Does he bring anything to the show? Not really. Not really. So why do I have him in good? Because somehow this farmer, this humble, hardworking man, right, has captivated millions. Everybody knows who Farmer with a Shotgun is. Everybody. Okay? And you know what? I take it back. He does have some skills. Because let's not forget, the man was terrified when Raditz pulled up, and he shot at him, and he was shot with the eyes closed. He stepped back. He was in a panic, and that bullet went right for Raditz's, I think it was either his chest or his face, like right down the center line. The man had impeccable aim. You got to give him credit for that. Obviously, it didn't do anything, but hey, he tried it. I'm going to put him in good. He's a solid staple character. All right. King Yemma. I'm also going to put King Yemma in good category. Now, King Yemma, he doesn't really have a huge impact in the show, but he's like one of our first introductions to the other world. He's a pretty cool character. He does what he does. He's there for what he's there for, and he fills the role perfectly. A little kind of world building type character, and you can't really put him any higher, but I don't want to put him any lower than good either. Okay, Gaz and Mez. Next up is them, and they are absolute trash. Man, listen, I know with the whole world building logic, you can use that for them too, but man, it was just wrong place at the wrong time, okay? It was while Goku was on the Snake Way. They were just an absolute waste of time. Absolutely putting them in trash tier. I always skip this filler. I was never a fan of this filler anyways. And yeah, no, they suck. I'm putting them in trash tier. Princess Snake, same thing, putting her in trash tier. Like, bro, we want to see Goku get to King Kai's planet. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see your nonsense filler. Some filler is good, don't get me wrong. Actually, DBZ has some solid filler, and I did like this one more than Gaz and Mez, but nah, I'm putting her in trash as well, because she's trash. Now, next up we have Princess Snake's lackey, her servant, her employee, whatever you want to call her. The one who played Russian roulette. I'm actually going to put her in great category. Now, hold on. Listen, I'm not a contradiction. Just hear me out. Again, with the logic of, filler characters are trash. If you want to look at it that black and white, yeah, I should put her in trash. But that's not, listen, there's layers to this, okay? I'm putting her in great because even though she was filler, like I said, some filler is solid. And she brought one of the funniest scenes ever in DBZ, in my opinion. She literally tries so hard to stall Goku to stay at Princess Snake's castle or whatever by pulling out a gun, loading it, putting it to her head, talking about some, I'm gonna play Russian roulette. This is really fun. Absolutely gets bodied, and Goku's just there like, yeah, I'd rather not do that. it was just so out of pocket, so out of nowhere. I love that filler scene. I'm gonna put her in great just because that's one of my favorite funny filler moments in DBZ. Okay, next up we have King Kai. I'm putting King Kai in great category, man. King Kai is a staple in Dragon Ball Z. He's classic. This was his introduction. It was funny because he was hyped up to be like this, this master. He's so strong and yada, yada, yada. And then he just was absolute jokester, awful dad jokes. He's just this antenna, basically, for his quadrant of the galaxy. Always filling people in. Always, keeping it lighthearted. And it was a good lighthearted balance for the saga because the Saiyan Saga was pretty dreadful, man. Like they were in deep in the Saiyan Saga. So he brought a really good comedic relief and iconic trainer, King Kai. He's a great character in my opinion. I'm putting him in great. Now Bubbles. Next up is Bubbles. You might not like this, but Bubbles is goated, man. Bubbles is goated. Hear me out, okay? The man stole the show every time he was on screen. Look at him. Just look at him go. He was always vibing. Goku thought he was King Kai himself. And he was a man of upstanding moral principle and character. When Goku caught him, he didn't complain. He did not complain. He was happy for Goku, even though it means he got bested. An absolute role model for all of us. And a great guy overall. 10 out of 10. Bubbles is the GOAT. He's goated. He's goated. All right, next up is his contemporary, Gregory. And he's an tier. Gregory he was just kind of redundant. Like, Bubbles played the role perfectly. He wasn't humble like Bubbles. He wasn't funny like Bubbles. He didn't have that same kind of oomph as Bubbles did. He was kind of a waste. I would have rather they showed King Kai's training with Goku more instead of Gregory. That would have been better in my opinion. But yeah, he was just kind of a whatever character. Never was a big fan of Gregory. Yeah, You guys are gonna think I'm crazy putting Bubbles and goated and then putting Gregory in. How does that even work? I don't know. Just go with it. All right, Chaozu. Next up is Chaozu, and I'm gonna put Chaozu in good category. This is the only time Chaozu is ever gonna be in anything probably other than trash. Yeah, for sure. Because you know what? He was so out of his league. Everybody was against the Saiyans, but especially Chaozu. He really tried it, okay? He tried to do something against Nappa. Self-deletion, got bodied, didn't do a single thing to Nappa, but hey, he tried. He gave his best foot forward, and he had him thinking for a second, like, oh, maybe he did something to Nappa. No, he didn't, but what can you do? He did the most that he could possibly do for his character. So that's why I'm putting him in good instead of ant tier, okay? And yeah, because I just want to pay him his respects. So Tien is next. I'm going to put Tien in good as well. It's just unfortunate because he's just in a tight spot because I feel like Tien could have been potentially a great character if they used him right. But like I said, unfortunately, he was the first person that Nappa charged at when he finished powering up. He was just a scapegoat, man. Like, he went right for Tien. Immediately just chops off his arm, throws hands with him, completely just turns him into a pile of rubble. Tien, again, kind of like Chaozu. After Chaozu sacrificed himself, he gave everything he had with his tri-beam, and again, it didn't really do much to Nappa, but he was good because he did what he could. He was just in a bad spot. Next up is Yamcha, and I'm actually going to put Yamcha in tier. I don't know, based on my comments, we got some Yamcha apologists on the channel. That's okay. My opinion is he's And I'm trying to be unbiased when I say that, by the way. I'm trying because I want to put him in trash tier. Shoot, I want to make a Dookie tier and put him in that. But he did what he was supposed to do for the role of his character. The role of his character in this saga was to show how desperate the situation is before the fight even breaks out. Because the Z Fighters were pretty relative to each other except for Piccolo at this time. If one of the Z Fighters can get bodied by a Cyberman, a minion, then that just instills a sense of dread. And he was there to hype Krillin up when Krillin gets the kill for the Cyberman later. So that was his job and he fulfilled it. So that's why I would put him in Okay, so if he fulfilled his job, why isn't he in good? Well, because the reason why I want to put him in why he gets dropped, is because how he pulled up. He pulled up with such confidence. And he was so cocky and reckless. It's not that he lost to a Cyberman. It's never been about that. Yeah, that is bad. I will admit that's bad. But it's the way he pulled up. He was like, hey guys, why y'all look so worried? Like, bro, you can sense power levels. You know that these guys are way stronger than you. You see people like Piccolo sweating bullets, and you think you're just gonna come in like, and dude, you were training with Krillin, with Tien, and them. You know you're not like him. You know you're not that much stronger than them. You're not stronger than them. So why are you coming in so brash on the most dire situation you've ever seen in your entire life at this point? And then to make matters worse, it's like, okay, if you're gonna pull up like that, at least give us results. But no, he gets absolutely bodied. No, you know what? He's trash. I'm putting him in trash tier. Yes, I'm putting him in trash tier. Okay, he's trash. Like, it's the audacity. It's the principle behind the situation. You know what I mean? The Cyberman death was just, he 100% deserved it. He's staying there, man. I'm not changing my mind. He's staying in trash tier. Even though I changed my mind dropping him into trash tier, he is glued there. He is not moving an inch. Now, Cybermen, I'm putting them in ant tier. They're going to go where Yamcha was. Because the thing with Cybermen, they are what they are. They're minion characters. That's all they are. They do their role. Can't really call them trash, but definitely not good. So I think I'm pretty confident with where I placed them there. Next up, we got Piccolo. He is gonna go right next to Bubbles in goated. Piccolo was absolutely a legend in this saga. I mean, he was so much in the mix from the very get-go. He swallows his pride, bands up together with Goku to fight Raditz. Kills both of them in one go with a special beam cannon. In one, like I said, and he was involved in an amazing fight, the Raditz fight. Then he takes Goku's son and trains him for a year in preparation for the Saiyans. And in that training, we get one of the best bonds formed in the entire show. And if you compare him from Dragon Ball to where he is during his death in Dragon Ball Z, it's like night and day character development. Amazing character development. And then he even puts in, and not just character development wise, but he just has fun moments in the saga. Like I already mentioned the Raditz fight, but then also in the fight against the Saiyans, he gets off one of the coldest kills in the entire show when he finishes off that one Cyberman with the mouth blast. That was sick. And he coordinates really well with Krillin. He was like the team leader for the squad during the fight against the Saiyans. And then obviously the moment of his sacrifice against Nappa, saves Gohan's life, has one of the most touching moments in the entire show. Piccolo's absolutely goated in this saga. 100%. Can't take that away from him. Can't take that away from him. Next up we have Launch. Trash. OG Dragon Ball fans, don't get mad at me, because she was a solid side character in Dragon Ball. She was trash in Z. This saga was her transition out of the show. 100%. All she did was distract Tien from his training. Talk about let's commit crimes. It's like, no, I want to train. Get out of here. And then the next thing she did was get pissed drunk when she thought that the world was going to end during Goku and Vegeta's fight. You're trash. Sorry. Next up, Master Roshi. I'm putting him in good tier. He doesn't do anything significant. Obviously, doesn't get involved in the fight. He's not a fighter in Dragon Ball Z. You know, he's there for the vibes. He's there for the dialogue. He's there for that kind of stuff, and he plays the role well every time he's on screen. Maybe it's just my nostalgia talking, but every time it's Master Roshi on screen, I just like it. It just it just kind of not warms my heart, but he's like a feel-good type of character. You know what I mean? And he just plays that role well. I'm putting him in good tier. Absolutely. Fortune Teller Baba, also going to be in good tier. I know she wasn't super involved, but look, you have to put her in good tier just for the fact of she streams the fight for everybody to watch, okay? She was the plug. Without her, they would not be watching the fight happen, and they didn't even respect her for it. What a shame. I don't know if she bought the pay-per-view or if she got an illegal stream, but it was all... No, she definitely got an illegal stream because that crystal ball kept lagging out. So 100%. I don't know if it was crack streams or dude streams or whatever, but she got an illegal stream for the fight. But hey, without her, they couldn't see the fight, so she's good tier. Chi-Chi. I'm going to put Chi-Chi in good tier as well, and she is not going to be in good tier for the rest of the sagas, by the way. But again, we have to look at it through the lens of the Saiyan Saga. She plays the role of the mother who's, the overly protective mom, the generic mom, and it was nice to see, her character during the time skip. This is before she got really annoying. Like, this is going to get old fast. Don't get me wrong. But again, it's just the Saiyan Saga, so I'm putting her in good. Bulma, also good. She's just always a solid character. Always has great dialogue, a good relationship with a lot of the, other more important characters in the series. Bulma's solid, man. She's definitely going in good category. Next up, we got Krillin. Krillin is freaking goated. And if you don't think Krillin should be in goated, you should be in trash tier. I'll put you in trash tier right here. I'm sorry, Krillin. Look, this is what makes Krillin goated, okay? He's not the strongest character. He's like a mid power level type of character. But he always finds himself a way to be extremely, not a little relevant, extremely relevant, especially in the Saiyan Saga. Man, in a show that's so reliant on power levels, being the strongest guy, whatever, he's a mover even when he's not the most powerful. He was so helpful in the fight against the Saiyans. First of all, he wipes out most of the Cybermen in one go. Saves us a lot of time there. Then he coordinates really well against Nappa with Piccolo. And let's not forget, if Vegeta wasn't there, he was gonna cut Nappa in half, have him looking like Frieza at the end of the Namek Saga. And later on against Vegeta, he hit him with the Spirit Bomb, and he was gonna get the final kill against Vegeta at the end there too. The man was just putting in work. He was punching up in the fight the entire time, but just through skill, good tactics, good game plan, high fight IQ, he was able to hold his own. And that's why you got to give him respect. Like, compare him with Yamcha, who's in trash tier. These guys are probably not that far off in strength, but Krillin found a way to make himself so much more useful. That's why he's goated. That's why Yamcha's trash. And Krillin is he's just a solid character on screen, like as far as dialogue goes. Like, I really thought it was funny when that scene where he had to tell Chi-Chi that Goku was dead and that Gohan was taken by Piccolo to train for the Saiyans who were coming, and that was hilarious. That was hilarious. Krillin gives a little bit of everything. He's goated for sure. Next up is Gohan. I'm going to put him in great category, okay? And I could see an argument for him being goated as well, but in my opinion, it just wasn't his time yet. That's all it is. It was just a little bit too early, not his time yet. But he's absolutely a great character because the progression, the training with Piccolo was one of my favorite trainings in the show. Because you see Gohan have to mature, and the progression was really solid. Before even having the fight, having to just conquer basic fears, having to be self-reliant, and then when he trains with Piccolo, now he's got to conquer, he's got to learn how to fight, and he's got to learn how to utilize his hidden power and everything. And then when he was in the fight with the Saiyans, they wrote him really realistically because it's like he was doing really good in training, and Piccolo's like, dude, I know you can do this, but he's just a kid, so he's just terrified seeing all these people moving so fast and fighting and this and that. They really did a good job of capturing what a noob looks like. Power-wise, he was relevant, but they captured the lack of experience really well. And he was just more and more useful as the fight went on. He had the Misenko against Nappa, and then when in the fight against Vegeta later on, he was really relevant when he got the anger power boost, and then obviously when he transformed into the Great Ape. They just did a really solid job with Gohan. Really solid. And obviously his relationship with Piccolo was amazing, so he's a great character, for sure. Next up, Nappa. I'm also putting Nappa in great category. If I put Raditz in great, I gotta put Nappa in great. He was an absolute tank, and the amount of bodies the man was catching, it was obscene. He really just came at the Z fighters and he eviscerated them. Before Goku showed up, it was Nappa alone caused so much mayhem and destruction. Vegeta hadn't even stepped forward yet. I mean, as the audience, you really felt hopeless. If Nappa can do all this by himself, you really just felt hopeless, and Nappa was a big reason for that. The only reason I can't put him in GOATed is the man was a moron. He was just a moron. Without Vegeta, he would have died just by making a mistake, slipping on a banana peel, something like that. He would have been out of there. But overall, great character. Great character. I love Nappa in the Saiyan Saga, man. Next up is Goku. And of course the man is going in GOATed. He's Goku, right? It's that simple. I don't even have to explain it, but that's the video, so I will. Okay. First off, starts off the saga by sacrificing himself to beat Raditz. Not gonna lie, I was disappointed he let go of Raditz's tail earlier in the fight. That was the dumbest thing he could have possibly done, but he made up for it by sacrificing himself, right? Then has the iconic training with King Kai in the other world. Comes back, and the way he did Nappa, pause. The way he did Nappa after the training was ridiculous because Nappa was shown to be such a powerhouse, and for him to just make such easy work of him was just, it made for one of the coldest entrances in the show. Then his fight with Vegeta was one of the most classic battles, not just in DBZ, but in any anime. He gave us one of the best fights, man. Pulled out all the stops. He showed his deep bag of arsenal. You know, he had the Kaio-Ken times 2, 3, and 4. Obviously the Kamehameha, he had the Spirit Bomb. He hit him with the Solar Flare. He gave everything in that fight, and he didn't get the W, but with the help of Krillin and Gohan and Yajirobe, they were able to get the dub together. Okay, they picked up the pieces and they finished off the job. So kudos to them, kudos to Goku. And man, dude, it always bugged me how Goku, after that whole battle, he was just battered, and Chi-Chi just jumps right over him. Acts like he doesn't even exist. Look at that. Yeah, I get it. You're concerned for your son. But after seeing Goku like that, your husband, yeah, I get it. After the initial, okay, my son is okay. He's still alive. You're not going to go to Goku after that to check up on how he's doing? You know what, man? She's going in ant tier just for that. Yes, she got dropped. Yes, she did. But yeah, Goku is absolutely goated. Same thing with Vegeta. Goated. Goated. One of the coldest villains in the entire show. Goated. Everything I said about the fight with Goku applies to Vegeta because obviously he was part of that fight too. But even further than that, I remember watching the fight with Goku as a kid and just being amazed at the amount of damage that Vegeta could take. Like, they threw everything but the kitchen sink at him. You had the Kaio-Ken times 3 beatdown. You had the Kaio-Ken times 4 Kamehameha. You had him scuffling with Gohan and then taking a hit from the Spirit Bomb. Then you had him getting sliced in the back by Yajirobe. Then you had him getting squashed by Great Ape Gohan. And he's still alive. Like, he was just the embodiment of an absolute warrior, a beast. Such a good villain. And he really showed, hey, there's levels to this. Like, this was the first proper DBZ super high scale fight in the show. And his whole aura, his presence, his just, Vegeta's got this swag to him. He's got this, man, he's goated for sure. 100%. And then last up, we got Yajirobe. Yajirobe is goated. If not only for the fact that he had the most clutch moment in the entire show when he cut off Vegeta's tail. Tell me that wasn't the most clutch moment of all time. I can't think of anything more clutch in any anime or any show. Do you know how desperate the situation was? And he pulled up out of nowhere. Everybody thought he was a coward. Oh, he's not even gonna fight. He's just there for some, like, you know, jokes and laughs. Cuts off Vegeta's tail and books it. Again, this is a perfect example of a fighter who's not relevant in power at the time, making himself useful. I love stuff like that. And he deserves all the props and the respect for this moment. This was the highlight of his career, okay? So I gotta put him in GOATed for this saga. Alright, everybody, that's my list. Let me know what you think. Feel free to argue, you know, in the comments. I don't care. That's cool. Just keep it respectful. And like I said, I'm still gonna make the kind of videos I normally have been. This was just a nice change of pace. I thought maybe you guys might like some longer form content, you know, where I don't have a script, where I'm just kind of chopping it up. So yeah, let me know if you guys like this style of content, or if you're not messing with it, let me know in the comments too. I'm gonna do one of these for Naruto as well, for my Naruto fans. And then after the Naruto one, then I think I'm gonna go back to my regular style of video. So yeah, leave a like, sub, all of that. I appreciate you, and I'm out of here.